Hello there, my name is Rafael. I'm part of the Rankin team. Today we will be showing you how to assemble a fertilizer spreader. When you receive your fertilizer spreader, you will receive a driveline, a disc, a mount, a kit, and a cone. Whether it's a PL180, a PL400, or a PL500, they all have the same components. The only difference is the size of the cone. The tools that you will need for this job go as follows. An Allen wrench, a 17mm socket, a 19mm socket, a 1" and 1/4 socket, a standard ratchet, or you can also use an air ratchet or an air impact. You will also need an aligning tool, a mallet, and a staple remover for your kit. So the next step is to make sure that you receive everything in your kit. You will be needing a staple removal, and you will just remove those staples from the box. Oops. Inside your kit, you will be receiving 2 lower lift pins, 2 actuating levers, 1 gearbox, and 1 hardware kit. Okay, so the first step is to mount the gearbox onto the frame. You will grab the gearbox and have the shaft facing towards the back. You will grab your 6 bolts from the hardware kit and place them on the holes. When tightening bolts down, do opposite ends. So if you're going to start right here, do this end and then go over here and then over here and then the centers. That way you have an even tightening. To tighten the bolts, you will use your 6mm Allen wrench or your 6mm Allen wrench socket. We will be using the air ratchet. So the next step is to install the disc. You will grab one of the pins from the hardware kit and install You do not want to drive the pin all the way through. You just want it enough so it holds in place. Then you'll take your disc and place it on top. Try to line up the holes. And then what I like to do is tilt it back. Gives you easier access to tap in the pin. Once you've driven the pin all the way through for your disc, you will grab the agitator shaft and you will also install a little pin, not all the way through, just enough so that it grips. And there you go. And then we'll place this on top as well. And then lean it back again. And once you have your hole lined up, just go ahead and tap it back in. So the next step is to install a cone. You will notice that the cones have 2 square openings at the bottom. You want those facing towards the back. And the easiest way, you could just line up your holes. They already have built-in holes inside the cones, which line up with your frame. Usually what I like to do is grab the bolts and the nuts and just get a hammer and just drive it in and then give it a slight little tap. Install the nut. And you will repeat this for the opposite end and then the one in the back. You want to use your 17mm socket with your ratchet and tie in the bolts up. And repeat for the opposite end and the back. The next step is to install the lower agitator. This will slide on top of the agitator shaft. After that, you want to install the rubber ring. This one will take a little bit more time to install, but you want this to be flush with the bottom. After installing the rubber ring and making it flush with the bottom, we want to install the actuating levers. You want to have close by your cotter pin, your bolt, and your nut. Go ahead and grab your cotter pin, put it right there, then grab your bolt, slide it in through one of the levers and onto the frame and through the other lever. Go ahead and grab your nut. We want to tie in the bolt and nut using the 19mm socket with your ratchet and your crescent wrench. You don't want it completely tight, just enough so that you can have movement. After tightening your bolt and nut, you want to install your lever lock nut. This will go right here, and you just want to go ahead and screw it in. Next, you want to install your rubber pad on your left lever using your mallet. Once you hear that thump sound, you know you reached. For the last step, you will need to install the lower link pins. For this, you will need your 1" and 1/4 socket, your aligning tool, your impact or wrench, you will use your aligning tool to insert inside the hole of the link, then use your impact to tie in as needed. You want to double check that every bolt and nut is tightened before operating equipment. For additional options, you can also get an agitator, a single or a dual banding attachment.